Hello guys, welcome back to another chess video. This is Amit here, and today I'll be showing you all a game which was played by Alakhan and Samish. In this game, White actually sacrificed a queen in the middle game and yet managed to win. Hope you watch the video till the end. So eh, let's begin. White goes e4, black plays c5. Which is the Sicilian defense, and white plays knight f3, knight c6, bishop e2, e6, castle, d6. Now white has actually delayed the response of d4, uh, exchanging of the center d pawn for c pawn of black. So now he plays d4, takes, knight f6, bishop f3. Bishop f3, instead of guarding the knight guarding the pawn on the e4 by the help of the knight c3, he plans to guard the pawn with the bishop. And now knight e5. Attacking the bishop on the f3 square, and now c4 is played. Now here there's a trap which like now if knight takes the pawn on the c4, then queen to a4 is a trap, and bishop d7 will be played, and he would have got the knight for free, and hence this move is not played, and he doesn't take the pawn on the c4 square. Instead he plays knight f3, queen f3, and bishop e7. At this point of the position, everything seems to be going on smooth, but the fireworks occur where once white sacrifices the queen itself. So now knight c3 is played, castle, b3. The bishop on the c1 looks good on the b2 square, because in the bishop c1 to g5 diagonal there is not much of activity that is going on, and even a6 is not played. So knight a4 and bishop b3 and attacking the b6 is not possible. So bishop b2 is a much better diagonal for the white bishop. So he plays b3. Now knight d7 is played, because he wants to get his knight to e5 square and attack the white queen. And at some point, once knight e5 is played, then he even wants to go on with the f5 pawn push. So white plays bishop b2, bishop f6, attacking the knight. But here he guards the knight on the d4 square with the rook a to d1 and a3. Now a3 is played, queen g3, and attacking the pawn on the d6 square. So queen c7 is played, king h1. Now planning to push the f pawn. So rook d8 is played, because already two pieces will be attacking. If a knight comes to f3 or on the e2, then two pieces will be attacking the d6 square. So he brings rook here to f8 in order to guard it. So here f4 is played. Now b6 to bring his bishop to b7, and then attack complete his development and bring rook here to c8, playing a good game. But here he plays the f5. Now if just a second. Now if e takes on f5, then it becomes very good for white, because he gets his knight here, and three pieces will be attacking the pawn, and at the same time his knight has a good outpost on the f5 square. So instead of taking the pawn on the f5, he brings his bishop to e5 attacking the queen. So once queen is attacked, now you can pause the video in order to find out the move for white. Yeah, now white actually sacrificed the white queen by taking the pawn on the f2 e6 square. So now he actually plans on giving up his queen for a bishop, but there are more activity which black Samish has not calculated, and white has laid down the trap as well. So here he had to, if pawn takes the pawn, then even then the knight takes the pawn, and white will be simply a knight up. So here black actually captured the queen, and white captured the pawn on the f7. Now king cannot come to f8 because if knight e6 check is given, then white simply loses the queen, and even this knight will be coming into action, and then black will be easily checkmated. So he didn't come to king didn't come to f8, and king moves to h8. So here there is another move. Now immediately you cannot push the pawn and queen the pawn, because if queen the pawn, then knight takes the pawn, then no other piece can attack the pawn. Even then, if knight moves to e6, then queen will move to b8 or c6. He may move to c6, but now also he cannot queen the pawn because knight takes. Now if rook takes, then if knight takes, now black is simply a queen up for a bishop. Even if this bishop goes, then also he's rook up, so he cannot immediately queen the pawn. So instead of playing knight to e6, he actually covers a much better idea, and which triggers a mate in 2 as well. But mate in 2 doesn't occur that easily because black still has some moves in hand. So he plays the move knight to d5. So knight d5, and then at this point black resigned, as if now he goes to b7, then comes the move. He can even capture this bishop first, and then now black has no other move. Now the only move is rook here. So now knight e6 will be there. Now he has to capture the pawn. Rook takes the rook. Now the pawn on the g7 is attacked twice, but then so he cannot move anything on the queen side as well. Even if queen was instead of queen to b7, if queen to b8 is played, then knight here, and now again he has to come to b7. Now this rook also goes after taking the bishop, then he can now knight d5, queen b8 can be played. Now pawn captures the bishop. Now rook has to move here, then knight here, attacking the pawn. So he has to take the pawn. and here. Now knight cannot move anywhere, bishop cannot move anywhere, and then because if bishop moves, knight will be going, so he cannot move the bishop anywhere. Only the rook is also cornered. Only thing he can play is rook to e6, but then he can capture the pawn later on, but immediate move is rook to f1. Now h6 has to be played, so here he can take the pawn. So if king here, these are all simple moves because black is trapped on the queen side, and no other move can be played on the queen side. So here it's much easier to play, because all the pawn, queen and bishop and rook and knight are simply covered on the queen side. Now if he plays this here, simply check, king will move to h8, bishop check, king will move to h7. Now knight to g5 is a mate. So this way Samish got tagged, and Alakhan even sacrificed a queen on a calculated trap for black. So, and he won the game pretty easily. And hope you like this video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Please press the bell icon for further notification of my videos which I'll be posting. Thank you all.